Hello, and apologies for being a little late today. It's having some technical issues on my tablet. So anyway, we will just get started. I appreciate your patience, and I invite you to either just start sitting on your mats or sitting on your chair, getting grounded. I think I'm going to bring a little bit more light into the subject today. Excuse me for a moment. And I invite you to just sit and, with your breath, inhale deeply in through the nose, expanding through the chest, filling the lungs, the rib cage, and lastly, the belly. And then fully exhaling. Hello, apologies for being late if you tried to get on earlier. We're just getting started today and just sitting in centering with our breath. However you're most comfortable, in a chair, on your mat, or even standing if you'd like. So just having the feet flat on the mat or the earth, wherever you are, if you're in your chair, or maybe sitting in an easy seated pose if you're on your mat. And we're connecting with breath in through the nose, out through the mouth. And make sure you're fully inhaling. Maybe taking another sip as you get to the top, and then fully exhaling. Maybe blowing out one more puff of air on the exhale. Drink in fresh oxygen through the nose. Deep inhalation, sending that to all of our cells and our memory. Cycling that through, exhaling out anything that is no longer serving us, any carbon dioxide, as that's the exchange that we have. Inhaling in oxygen, exhaling out carbon dioxide. The plants and the trees, they inhale the carbon dioxide that we emit and then exhale oxygen. So it's really a beautiful transfer and exchange of energy, if you will, and breath and life. So as we continue with this breath, we'll find our collarbones and come down, begin to massage, tap or thump. Breath in the nose and out the mouth. You can sigh it out. You can make any sound that may come to mind. Maybe that or ujjayi breath in the nose and out the nose. Come to the thymus. Tapping or thumping there, stimulating those T cells, bringing in those T cells for our, our immune response, and shaking that off. Side seams, spleen points, metabolizing and digesting our thoughts and our food, our experiences. And shake that off. Then find our cheekbones with a little bit of firm pressure. Tap or thump here. Maybe even massage all the way around your orbital bone if that feels good. Breathing. Shaking that off. And just integrating that breath. Integrating those 4 thumps. And then begin your homolateral taps. Dust off, cross over. We'll do this 3 more times each side. Shake off our hands. And here's where we set an intention. Zipping that up the central line. Sweeping that out to be done. 2 more times. And finally, we'll hook up. Bringing in confidence. Setting that energetic spine. Continuing that flow of vertical energy that runs. The only vertical energy that runs around our body in that direction. Shaking that off, shaking the head side to side, nodding the head. You're rolling the shoulders and gaze to one side and gaze to the other side. Okay, basic movements, but it feels good. We don't always give ourselves these simple little exercises to do every day to help clear out any stuck pain, stuck energy. So let's just give our necks a little massage here. Down the front, shake it off. Let's come to our forehead. This is called the triple warmer smoothie. Smooth the fingers across your forehead above the brows. Pause here at your temples. Take a deep breath. And curl behind the ears or smooth behind the ears, down the sides of the neck. And just hang the fingertips right off the sides of your neck, right on the shoulders. Anywhere where you might be experiencing a little soreness. And then bring that down the front, shake it off. I'm going to come to standing. You are welcome to stay seated in a chair if that is what your practice entails today. But be mindful of yourself. What do you need? Fill your cup first. So I'm standing in my mountain pose, just kind of assessing how I feel. Drawing the earth energy up from the soles of my feet, feeling that movement up the legs, and then I'm going to gently engage or lift the kneecaps up a little bit. From the back, just gently kind of tweeze, not real squeezing hard, but just gently engage through the bum, through the glutes. Gentle engagement. And then we draw that belly button in and up. So remember our hook up where we press in and up. Just imagine that sensation for keeping your abdominals engaged. As we lift up through the crown, our connection to the heavenlies, to spirit, breathe here. And weave the arms up. Soft knees, just real soft or slightly soft, not a bend. And we'll weave back up. We're just kind of clearing and cleansing our own personal space. We'll move off to one side, weave, breathe. What is your intention? What would you like to maybe get rid of in your area of life, or reconstruct, if you will? Weave down the front. We're just intending to clear our own personal space. We always have to start there, our own personal space. And then weave the arms down, place the hands on the tops of our thighs. Here we'll softly bend the knees and then slide the hands up. Hands to heart center. Sit back in that high chair. Note the knees. You want to make sure they're not past the toes, but more of the bum sitting back in that chair. So this doesn't have to be deep. And we'll go into heaven connecting earth. So coming up into a big side stretch. Releasing any of that stuckness in our joints, creating space for new energy to flow. Other side. I know we talk a lot about energy and pain and stuck energy and all these things, but energy is all there is. And that's not me. I'm just repeating it. Einstein said that, and it's true still today. It's everywhere and in anything we do. Back here. So we're just always thinking about how we can keep our energy up, bring good energy in, release or repel any negative energy. One more round here. And I hope I don't sound too woo-woo because that's not what it's all about. Back to heart center. Reach up one long line. Gentle back bend. This is where it's important to draw that belly in and up versus just collapsing into the low back. So we reach up. Maybe the arms are at goalposts. Just doing this to demonstrate that lengthening or extension in the spine. And then draw the shoulders of the elbows down, squeezing the shoulder blades or scapula together to slide down along the spine. Come up in that wide W, breathing all the while. Exhale and activate the energy in through our arms, shoulders, and upper back. 2 more times. Still doing the breath in the nose, out the mouth. I invite you to take any breath that feels natural to you at this time. And maybe using any of those sounds that we have practiced over the past classes that we've had here. Let's take our arms either out to our side. If your arms are tired, you can have your hands on your hips. We're going to go into a moving balance or shooting star. The star can look like this with your elbows out if your arms are a little tired. Otherwise, jazz hands or full extension of the arms. Come out here, here, here. So by all means, choose what works best for you. See if you can pause for a breath or two. And if going with momentum is what works best for you today, yay for you too. Focusing your gaze straight ahead at the horizon. And the horizon is right out from where your eyes look directly from however high you are. One more time to either side. Weave the arms up. Weave them to cross. And maybe bring the backs of the hands together. If available, wrap them around. Slightly draw the arms up and down. Breathing. Once again, up and down. One more breath. Keeping that cross one leg over. And let's take 3 breaths. Option to move the arms or just keep them stationary. Schoolyard hookup, unscrambling energies, finding our words. other way. Once again, draw the arms up and breathe, draw up and down. Last time, we'll pause here and then cross the opposite leg over that we had crossed last time. 3 deep breaths here. Unwind, shake that off. Now, either from our mats or our chair, whichever you feel most comfortable with, we'll start in our mountain pose. We're going to work into any variation of downward facing dog that works for you. With our seat here, we can place our palms down. We can also reach here and pull back. This is an excellent back stretch here where you let the head fall in between the biceps. Or you can be on your mat in traditional downward facing dog. This is an excellent stretch in through our pectorals and outer arms, shoulders. Lots of soft tissue in there. You can also have your forearms down here or the palms here. Again, there's just a lot of various positions we can find here. You find the one that works best for you. Let's take a couple more deep breaths here. And our next breath, whether you're in your traditional downward facing dog or with the hands here, maybe lifting one leg just to where you can, squeezing that up. Breathe. Maybe point and flex a couple times through the toe. Place that foot down. Other side. Lift. Point and flex. Release down. Now from downward facing dog, bend the knees quite a bit. If you're on the mat, just bend the knees. And if you're on the edge of this chair, you're going to use that chair for support. Bend the knees. If this is available to you, just bend to where you can. Sit back in that chair and then lengthen. Bend and lengthen. You know, you can do this at your kitchen sink or other counter where you can place your hands there and hold on to something. Really pull back and sit down, letting that flexion in the spine. Breathe. And then finally coming back up. I'm sure your arms are feeling this by now. Weave. Step feet together. Bring arms down to your sides and palms open. Lift through heart center. Breathe. And now we'll go through a little warrior flow. Again, we can do that with the chair or from the mat. So standing in our mountain pose, stepping left foot back, that heel's lifted. I'm going to spin and anchor that rear heel down. Coming into warrior one. We've got the chair here. Know that we can sit back here and then reach the arms up. Breathe and begin to pull down from those heavenly handles, anything we may need. Similarly here, you can pull down toward the shoulders, using that strength as if there's some resistance coming. Always a little resistance when we're reaching for things that we need. And once we've gathered, few of those things. Let's bring them into our heart center. Place them there. Breathe it in. Offer gratitude. And then reach the palms up. Create the arrow straight ahead and pull back. Here's where from the chair we'll walk that foot further back, opening up, warrior two. And if we're standing, you may heel toe that front foot back a little further to get that wider stance, gazing over this front middle finger. Breathe. If that's too much with the arms up, just go ahead and let them rest down. Gaze ahead. And then reverse. Lengthening stretch here. Where your hand slides down the back of the leg or around for a half bind. It's too much with this arm up here. Just bend the elbow, rest the hand in between the shoulder blades. And then we'll come forward, side angle or extended angle if you have a block or something built up here. You can bring the hand down here. We just don't want to collapse here, but we want to use the abdominals, the entire core here. So that is working, lifting up on that entire torso and rib cage. Option to reach here, behind, or out from the crown of the head. This can be done here. Slowly coming up. And as we come up here, you can move this rear shoulder forward and this hand to the outside of that front knee. We're standing here, just bringing in a little twist here. Maybe hinging if that feels right for you, or on the chair, hinging. Good twist here. Breathe. Feel that all the way up through your low to mid belly, along the obliques, the side waist. And then come back up. We're going to do that, all those to the other side. So I'll just segue from here to side two. And same thing if you're on your mats. Let's do that from our standing position and step the opposite leg back into your warrior one. You could have the rear heel lifted in the high lunge or warrior one stance, whichever feels right. Let's draw the hands up. Again, reaching down, drawing what we need from the heavenlies. Intend. Be gracious and be humble. Place those things with gratitude in your heart center. Reach. Create that arrow. Pull back. Take that rear foot further, and if you're standing, a little wider there. Arms can be resting down if they get tired here. Just keeping that gaze forward, breathing. Turn that front palm up and reverse. Again, keeping that stability, engagement through the core. Deep breaths. And then finding that side angle. Pressing down through that rear foot, either reaching forward, have the side arm over the knee. And again, you could have this block inside or the outside of that front knee. A lot of work goes into this posture, but it's quite doable for most of us, at least on some level. So just doing what you can for today. Slowly coming up. And then bring this rear knee in. Bring the arms overhead, hands to heart center, and forward. So we're going to do either a kneeling cat-cow or seated cat-cow. So of course in the chair, you just scoop through the belly, bring the shoulders forward, chin down. Inhale, open through the chest, bring the shoulders back, and have that soft curve in the low back. Of course, all fours, this feels good too. Whatever feels right. Breath flowing. On our next breath, out that bottom leg, extend that top knee, reach up. Into that kneeling side plank. Maybe lift that top leg. Now this can be modified with the chair as well. My furniture is getting in the way. So let's lift up. Maybe hand to hip. Just showing you different options. Play around with it, see what works. And if you have sore knees, or depending on the surface of your floor, make sure you have plenty of padding. And then we're going to come to the side into a gate pose, just stretching out this opposite side. Take about 3 deep breaths here. Center, come to kneeling, and we'll just reset in a couple rounds of cat and cow before we go to the other side. So taking it to the other side, either using your chair, just on the mat, with the arm down, and lift. Maybe this top arm reaches high, perhaps the elbows bent. You lift, active energy in that long leg. Or perhaps you just want to stay here with that leg down. Come into that stretch. And then slowly come to that Gate pose to the other side, leg extended, reach up, and gently arch, and lengthen over. Notice any difference from side one to side two. I notice a difference on myself. Feels a little bit tighter on this side for me. So these are just little mini assessments we make for ourselves to notice. Maybe we need to do a little bit more work, releasing on one side or the other, whether that be rolling on a ball or a roller or what have you, using a little massage gun thing, electronic thing or battery operated. I have one and they're really good to use. So then we'll come out of that, back to kneeling. Inhale, arms overhead, let's tuck our toes, and then weave forward. Forearms down, pause here. Slowly come back up, weave the arms. And back down. Of course, this can be done with the chair as well. So we'll pause down here. Once again, weave the arms. And then come down. Let's drop a hip here. Bring the legs forward. And if you're in the chair, that's just great. You can kind of extend your legs out in front, a relaxed manner. And then we're just going to cross one leg over. So in the chair, let's cross one leg over here and keep that lifted a little bit, but we'll hold that outside of the knee. We're not forcing it. And then we'll just take the other arm behind, get that stretch in our pectoral. And then from the floor, we'll do this. Take this arm and twist. Breathe. Unwind and open the twist. You're just moving your head gently side to side, keeping some mobility going in your neck. Sometimes you have soreness in your neck just from everyday use, looking down, across the computers, driving, sleeping at night. I seem to have a lot of trouble with pillows. I've tried lots of different pillows. Some mornings I just wake up and have lots of different stuff going on. So I like to do a lot of these tension releasing exercises in through the neck and shoulders. Let's flex through this foot, bring it above the knee. Deep breath. Lead with the navel as we come forward. Deep hamstring opening stretch or lengthening. And as well on the chair, of course, this long leg would be bent, but we're still getting that nice hamstring stretch. Then we're just going to come onto our backs. Here, you might have to come on to your backside from the chair or lift that knee up for this deeper hip opening and groin stretch. And then slowly place that down. Roll to one side. As we come up, extending both legs from the chair. Sweep and weave the arms overhead and hinge forward fold. Find that point where you're making a connection, leading with the navel, breathing, feeling the lengthening of the back side of the body. Option here to weave or trace spleen coming up. Arch side of the big toenail, trace along that arch behind the ankle bone, inseam of the legs, a little wider at the torso, along the breasts, almost to shoulders, back down to buzz the points. And now we'll take the other side, sitting up tall, breathing, wrapping that arm around, maybe leaning back to create some space to go into that twist. If you have a little bit more flexibility today, you might bring that elbow to the outside or just simply continue to draw that knee in, lengthen up and breathe. Lots of things to think about, but once we get them all going together, it becomes kind of second nature, and that's how our body retains that memory. Slowly unwind. Opening the twist. And then returning to center. Ankle just above that knee. Flex through this foot. Sit up tall. Leading with the navel. If you have tighter hamstrings, you're going to feel that without any movement forward. So just find and honor your edge. Breathe into it. On your next inhale, we'll come up and slowly make our way onto our back sides. Elbows, bring that crossed ankle in. Maybe thread the arms through. Deep breathing, always focusing on our breath. When we focus on that, again, that becomes second nature, and we take deeper breaths. We're able to exhale more deeply, and it helps to increase our lung capacity. Release down. Both feet at either sides of our mats. So I invite you to take those arms to that W again, or the cactus arms. Notice that opening in through your shoulders, pectorals, that little muscle where the arms and the shoulder and chest kind of meet here. Just lie back and breathe. Step your feet about mat width apart. And then allow the knees to drop to one side as your gaze drops over the other shoulder. Come back to center with the knees. Drop them to the other side. Center. And side one. Center. Side two. Deep breath. Let's do a spinal twist before our final relaxation. We're going to shift our hips a little to the right, extend the left leg, and fold the right knee in. If available, maybe reach behind the knee crease to draw that across the body. Some gallbladder points behind the knee. This opposite arm is outstretched. Nice deep stretch along that glute. Little in our IT band and our hips. Center, shift hips a few inches to the other side, extend that opposite leg and bring the other knee in, twist to the other side. Now these can be done in the chair as well, just seated from side to side. As you are ready, coming back to center, shifting hips back to your neutral spot, maybe moving through some of those gentle hip rolls, pelvic tilts, or what I call baby cat cows, or you gently press that small of the back or the belly button toward the spine, so the bottom of the tailbone kind of lifts, but you still have that contact with the mat, your sacral spine. Then you lift up, perhaps creating that little gentle natural curve in the back and down. It should feel good. Moving and breathing. And then bring the knees into the chest, about shoulder width. Flex through the feet, maybe reaching somewhere between the knees and the ankles, or if available, the outer blades of the feet. And pressing between the second and third toe at the balls of the feet. That's the first point of the kidney meridian, wellspring of life. And we're in happy baby. Think about babies when they're in this position. They're happy. You're just happy looking at them thinking, gosh, I wish I could do just what they're doing. But we can in some expression or another. So here we are. Releasing through the low back, breathing, and thinking about any intention we may have set for our practice today. Any of the things we were drawing from the heavenlies to come in or to release. Let's find our final resting position, or shavasana. Whether that be seated, you might have a blanket or a block beneath you. Not the low back, but the sacrum, where that bone rests. Whatever it is you need for the next couple minutes, just take care of yourself. Beginning to wiggle your fingers and your toes. And slowly fluttering your eyelids as you roll to one side. No rush, or as you come up to seated, wherever you are. There's no rush. Place our hands over our heart center. Make this sound. And then blowing out the candle. Woo. Like the whoosh of the wind. And then the shh. And then thank you all for coming to join me today. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your week. Namaste. Thank you all.